it's been such a pleasure working with all these writers this go around and listening to all these coming out stories. Everybody's story is so different, right? And it's just so powerful. My coming out was not. I actually expected, because I watched a lot of after-school specials when I was a kid, so I expected a lot of angst and rejection, and so I took my mother to a diner to tell her in public so she couldn't completely lose her mind. I'm from Jersey, so that's what you do. And go to a diner for everything. And I'm telling her, and she's eating her salad with Thousand Island dressing, and I say, Mom, I'm gay. And she just keeps eating. And she looks up and she goes, okay. And I'm weeping and I am just devastated. And then I'm a little offended that I didn't get a reaction, nothing. And she's like, I love you. And I'm like, I've watched all these movies. I've been reading these books and preparing. My friends were all waiting at an apartment to console me. And I'm just like, what a waste. So then, but apparently I had been dropping hints my whole life, and I didn't know that I might be gay. And one of the stories that comes up a lot with my family and friends is my prom. And prom is a really big deal when you're that age. And I was your normal 17-year-old boy and really interested in just having the best car to show up in and having the perfect date. And, designing my date's prom dress. I did that. So before I designed her dress, I had to start with my suit because that was the base. So there was an artist named Christopher Williams in the 90s that some of you may know, most of you won't. But Christopher Williams was this 6-foot-something, light-skinned, sort of racially ambiguous with curly hair kind of guy. He had this music video called Promises, Promises, and he wore this suit. It was white, Nehru collar with the buttons down the middle, and I said, I'm gonna be that for prom. So I started designing a little suit that mirrored his suit with some changes, because you can't just totally copy another artist. So I designed my suit, and I gave my sketches to my seamstress / my friend's mother. And she said, oh, I can totally do this in a week. I was like, perfect. But the dress was a whole different thing. So I spent maybe months peeling through the Spiegel and JCPenney's and Sears catalog looking for the latest 90s designs and trying to piece together what my prom date's dress would look like. And I finally settled on something that would match my suit, which was all white with sort of a shimmery paisley sleeve that was white too, but if it hit the light was a glow of pink. And then I took that same material and it was a trim down the leg that was kind of a shimmery pink, a white patent leather shoe with a pink hose because you couldn't find pink socks. It was a mess. But my date dress was gonna be a mermaid dress that I had thought, okay, she's gonna have the same material with a pink overlay, and then it would just kind of flare out and whatever. And then the next thing was finding someone who would be willing to not only be my date, but to wear my design. So I took a freshman, right, who was just excited to go. So the plan worked out. But everyone around me was watching this probably very silently going, I don't know about this. And my mother, once she saw that I was sketching one night at the kitchen table watching Jeopardy or whatever, and she was just like, you sure you don't want to go to Davis Bridals? They have really good tuxes and you can have fun with the cummerbund and, pick any color you want. And I said, no, I'm pretty certain this is what I'm gonna do. And she just kind of let it happen. And I went material shopping, did the whole thing. But the big issue was gonna be the hair. So Christopher Williams is light-skinned and you don't really know, and it's curly and it kind of falls to the side, and he had this little nice kind of shaved thing, kind of flat top, and I said, well, I can't have the suit and not the hair. So at the time I had, it's the 90s, I had what you call a Gumby cut. So it was kind of like Bobby Brown, kind of up and to the side, and I was really proud of it. I I picked it out every day, it took 30 minutes, and sometimes there was like a little gold shimmer, like Kwame, if you know who that is, and I did the whole thing. And also about the suit, I didn't know to do a fitting, like because I wasn't like a real designer. So my friend's mother made this suit, and like pretty much the day before prom, she said, come get it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I go get the suit, I bring it home, and I put it on. And if you ever watch The Cosby Show, there's an episode where Theo wears something that becomes a Gordon Gartrell outfit where things are like not in the right place. I basically had that suit. So one sleeve was shorter than the other. The trim was sort of crooked on the side. And the hems weren't quite right on the jacket. And I remember putting it on, and I come downstairs, and my mother is trying really hard not to laugh. And then she just left the room and just laid on her bed and cried. And my aunt was like, it's okay. And because I am who I am, I was determined. I couldn't switch, like, because I had made a choice. And I was like, it's fine, it's fine. My mother's like, we can still go tonight. They stay open late. We can go to David's Bridals, get a black tux. I was like, no, it's fine. So the next morning, I thought, well, the suit didn't quite work out, and no one's gonna get the effect if I don't have the hair. So I take my little 35 bucks that I had saved up, and I go down the street to the hair salon that I had never stepped foot into because I don't go to hair salons. And I had a picture from a magazine called Right On, which is like Teen Beat for black people. And I said, can you make me look like this? And she just said, sure. So I sit down in the chair, and I don't know what she's gonna do. I just know I want the end result. And she put something in my hair, I'm sitting there, and then I'm sitting for like a few minutes, and my scalp feels like someone poured acid all over my head, and I'm trying to be cool because everyone else is just like listening to music, having a good time, and I'm just like, I feel like I'm dying right now, and I'm a dude, and I don't want to like scream, but I'm about to fucking scream because my scalp is burning off. And then she runs over and she rinses it out, and then she turns me around, and I'm like, what the fuck? Because I didn't look like Christopher Williams. I looked like Sade. And my hair was bone straight down, and I'm like about to cry. My prom is the next day. And she's like, don't worry about it, we're not finished. I'm like, okay. So she slaps all this gel in it, and I'm like, all right. So then there's this gel, and then she turns me around, and it's curly, but now I'm salt and pepper. And I have this like curly bob, and now I'm like, what the fuck? And she's just like, okay, we're not finished. So she goes scurrying off looking for these clippers. And they had like a barber who would work some days because, you know, sometimes they would line up people's head, but he wasn't there. She thought she could find his clippers, and she couldn't. She comes back and she goes, well, we can't really find the clippers, so this one's on the house. So I'm sitting there with a curly bob, and the prom is the next day, so I just walk down the street singing Push It, and I go to the barbershop, and they're all like looking, but no one says anything. And my barber is just like, I'll try something. So he shaves the sides, but because it's so loose and curly, he just puts some hard gel in it and just crimps it up to make it stay up like my. So I think this is perfect. So I go home, I kinda look more like Gandhi or like Babyface than Christopher Williams, but it works a little bit, but not really. And in that moment, when I get home and I put on this crooked suit and I have this permed hair, and by the way, I woke up the next morning for prom and I thought it would just stay this way because I had never had my hair permed before, and I woke up and it was all to the side. And my mother again laughs and says, you're supposed to wrap it up with a scarf. And I didn't know the rules. So, but eventually I realized that the whole exercise of becoming this person who was this perfect alpha male was me trying to be somebody else. Because I kind of knew something was different, and I thought I could project this image. And after kind of going to the prom in a crooked suit and crimped hair, I realized, you know, I think I just want to be myself. Thank you.